always exciting to be here and just having these chats. I call them chats, just to cast some more light, sometimes even just laugh about things, but again also learn a few things or share a few things. And believe me, whenever we share some of these things, we are also reminded, okay, it's not just a one-way thing where we are talking to you or speaking at you, but even between ourselves we are reminded of the beauty of relationships, the beauty of marriage, the beauty of partnership, and we are reminded of some crucial things that we often overlook, okay? How to be grateful towards each other, how to appreciate each other, and how to be able to appreciate even our differences. So we are in this school together. It's not that you're the only students and what. No, this is a lifelong school that we are also learning like every day. And even when God gives us the grace to share, we share from some of our beaten stories, our defeated pasts, and then the lessons that we have learned and what we have helped other people navigate. But in the end, we all come out winners.
I know I posted Hilda's pictures. Some old pictures when she was size. What size is that?
I should have been around. I
70.
must have been 70 kilos.
About 70
kilograms. I'm going back to that.
Forget it.
I am going back to that.
I posted the pictures and I've been getting great feedback. As in
About?
A lot of feedback. I mean, people keep texting. Others are saying you're guilty.
Uh-huh. You made her big.
No, glorious.
You made her glorious. So big is glorious.
I like this version of you, not the skinny one.
Why not? Me, I want the other version better. So I'm going back to the other version. I'm on my way going back to the other version.
Man, meat is good.
You don't like bones.
You don't like bones. You like her flesh. But anyway, speaking about that, I'm very intentional about the small moments in our lives. And there's nothing as beautiful as cherishing every moment and time. That's how we write our
life
history.
Anyway.
Yes, that's how we do. Because 30, 40 years from now, you should look back and be grateful to God.
And
for
smile.
For everything that happened in your 30s, in your 40s. Rather than look back and you can only remember the ugly days or in those years. So life should be more intentional. We don't have all the life to live here. I was negotiating a certain deal. Actually, it was a lease. So I was having a discussion with my counsel, and I said, I don't want anything below 49 years. So he looked at me and laughed and said, you'll be dead in 49 years. Okay, if you'll be alive, you'll be as good as dead. I said, that's true. Well, because Ariella would be in her 40s.
Yeah.
So actually in her early 50s.
But these days, have you seen 90 years old looking hot?
I don't know.
I've seen 90 years old looking hot.
Anyway,
There's no getting older.
Being,
I get it.
I can't be 40 again.
Yeah.
So
you seize every moment.
When I'm 50 now, I should enjoy my 50s.
Yeah.
Because I can't be 50 again when I'm in 60s. So why be gloomy and tough and annoyed, fighting with everyone and
keeping grudges?
We should be more intentional to enjoy our last days.
Yes.
To enjoy every day. As in, that's me.
Teach me to number my days.
Teach me to number my days. So this is what I usually do. I pick the beautiful moments and I celebrate them. Last time I said, I'm celebrating at least having a meal with my wife every day. Whether at least a breakfast or lunch or dinner, at least every day.
Every
for 365 days.
Yep.
That's something worth remembering.
And that's huge.
And that's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Because there, you create a bond. You have more time to talk about your
life.
Issues. If you have any fights, you resolve them faster. If you have any issues, probably.
Actually, you rarely keep even issues.
So, even if they're there, you have a moment, an opportunity, at least, to have
to go through.
Now, someone will tell you, Tim, you're lucky. No, there's nothing like being lucky. It's about being intentional. I could choose otherwise. If I chose otherwise,
it would still happen
have time
that
for
way.
everyone else other than my wife. So I was like, the last 30, 40 years of my life,
Intentionality.
I have to be very intentional about family.
And I think...
So, money should bring satisfaction and joy to me in family.
Exactly. Not the other way around.
Everything else, all my accomplishments and success, everywhere else in my life should be an addition, should be complementing, should be not subtracting or taking away anything from family, but addition to family, that I can have time with my children, with my wife.
That's precious.
And the people that matter to me.
And that's a choice.
As a man, it is a choice. You set yourself up for it, start walking that journey, and the fulfillment, the peace, and the joy.
It's priceless.
Priceless.
Very priceless.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's a time I was speaking, I think it should have been last week, when we were talking about some beginning of year, and I was talking about the different ways that the devil is going to attack people, especially this year, and be able to keep them in regret, in poverty, or whatever it is. But I remember I talked about the aspect of relationships, and I say that one of the things that is going to be attacked, or that is under attack right now, is really family. Because if the devil, the enemy, cannot attack you anywhere else, he's going to attack what's the most important, or the most important, because he knows what the most important thing is. You might know what the most important thing is, but the devil knows what the most important thing is. That you have a sense of belonging, that you have a sense of home, that you have a sense of, being needed and all that. And he's going to try to take away all forms of reconciliation, bring unforgiveness, bring, as in everything, the resentfulness, to make sure that there's a bridge, there's a space that is created. And I hope that we can be very, very intentional to actually look at these things and be able to help ourselves and be able to salvage the situation. Because if we don't, that means we are cultivating what the enemy wants. We are giving him what he wants. He has the last laugh. And so as your marriage breaks, as your children go their separate ways, and you have seen families that have gone their separate ways. I know. It has not been good. They live in perpetual trauma. They live in regrets. They live, even when God helps them and they are happy, when they look back, there's nothing to pull back. There's nothing to celebrate. And that's not a good thing. And that is why we felt the need to talk about conflict resolution techniques, especially amongst couples. Because if we are not careful to keep our eyes open, or to handle things when they happen, and we leave them or push them under the table, push them under the carpet, say we will handle them later, and then you're not prioritizing it because you have other priorities that you think are important, then that is going to cause a lot of breaking, and not just breaking between the couple, but where two elephants fight, the grass are suffering. So that means where a couple is fighting, the children are actually suffering. Where a couple is fighting, the workspaces are being shaken. Where a couple is fighting, you are actually holding space for so many things in your life. You don't know. Some of you are holding space for ministries. Some of you are holding space for your families, for even where you come from, not just your nuclear families. So that means whoever you are holding space for, their ground starts shaking, because the both of you are not in unison, and there is conflict, and this conflict is tearing you apart.
As a couple, one thing that I've practiced and experienced and succeeded is active listening. When I am listening, I drop everything else and I focus. Because at that point, I'm reading the body language, the tone, and everything else with the communication I'm getting from my partner. So listening is a skill that you must grow. When you listen to your partner, intentionally listening to your partner, husband or wife, you read a lot, understand more, and be able to help your partner become a better partner and lover. Kati, this is the mistake. In most cases, people listen with a defense already built.
To respond.
So every time you speak, I speak back.
Actually,
Every
it's
time
reaction.
you speak, I turn the tables. Every time you speak, I pick out something. So I never give you room to express yourself. So I never get to understand the core of the issue that we're dealing with. So number one in conflict resolution, I believe, is listen.
That's it's the core.
Listen. Just be available in one place and put the phones aside, because this is what usually happens.
You pretend like you're listening, but you're actually not listening.
I'm listening.
So that means there is something more important.
Put the phones aside, and we do this with my wife. If we must have a certain conversation, probably it's about the children, or it's about a decision of, say, investment, or we're planning to have something done for the family. We agree. We're going to have these discussions on our side. So we have the discussion. And guess what? When one person is speaking, the other is listening.
Taking notes.
So that by the time you respond, you're not just being
reactionary.
But you've picked out certain points that you think can build to this conversation. You've picked out some points that you think can be what's the right word? That can contribute, or that can help this discussion even
better.
Be better. So listening is a skill that you must grow. And as I said, one of the ways to do it, even if it's just your child, and what they are speaking does not connect, try to listen. There's something they're trying to communicate. They may not have the right language for it, but they're putting a certain point across. And sometimes when you miss it, you may never, until something bad happens. That's when now you pick the pieces and say,
this is what he meant.
So listening is a skill that I believe you must cultivate and give time to grow.
With
whether in agreement or in disagreement, learn to listen.
And listening is an ongoing, it's an active kind of, you are fully present. You are here in this moment without divided attention. You're not thinking about anything else. And someone can tell. The person you're talking to, your partner is not a fool. Your partner is not a child. Even children understand these days. But someone can look at you. Their body can be present, but their mind absent. You will tell. You will tell by the movement of their eyes. You will tell by the prompts that they give you. You will tell that they will have misaligned. Sometimes it will be so hard to even hear or listen. And that's where whenever you're talking to me about certain things, especially when we're having quite some hard conversations or things that you know I would not want to hear, you vividly ask me, are you ready for this? Are you here? So that, I think, in a bid to collect my mind, or to prepare me that, you know what, this is it.
Let's have this conversation.
Let's have this conversation. But when someone is aloof, you will tell by how they scratch their bodies, how they look around, how they yawn, how they feel bored about the conversation. There is no boring conversation. For as long as it is conflict resolution, there is something at stake. Your happiness is at stake. If you tell me that you do not mind, then that means you're not the right person to be in this relationship.
Absolutely. Now, there's something about the same active listening, because probably someone listening may ask this question. Hilda, how do you handle a partner who does not have the right approach in a discussion where there is a bit of conflict or disagreement? For example, you open up the chat and someone is just accusing you. They are not engaging you to have a sober conversation and handle an issue at hand. And probably their style is accusing you,
did this,
judging
and
you,
then you did that,
and shouting and making you uncomfortable.
Insulting sometimes.
Question is, how do you handle such a partner. Because that's also key.
It's very crucial.
We said in agreement or in disagreement.
Yeah.
In most cases where there's conflict resolution,
it's always the other side.
It usually flips the other side. When you're on a dinner date and you're planning how many children to have, and you're planning the next holiday. You will listen. Like that's easy to listen. Is easy. I mean, it's nice.
It's not even a conflict. Yeah.
But conflict is where
you have been rubbed the wrong way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And someone is trying to express themselves and they are trying to rub it in.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you're either guilty or being misunderstood and totally innocent. Whichever the case is, someone is using that kind of tough language, is attacking you and is insulting you. How do you handle?
Now, so many of us, if we're talking about conflict resolution in couples, some people will know the people that they are dealing with. But keeping quiet here and pushing things under the carpet will never be a solution to conflict resolution, because you can say, I have resigned to bringing up issues because I know how he is going to react. Now, if you resign to bringing out issues, that means the resentment is growing. And as the resentment grows, love is coming down. So that means we have no other way but dealing with the situation. Dealing with the situation, knowing that, you know what, I am not going to be like them. That means you're making a sober decision that I'm not, if he's shouting, I'm not going to shout. If he does this, I'm not going to do this. And we can ask for a timeout. Like, you know what, respectfully, let's come back to this conversation when we are both calm and collected, or we can both respect each other. We have to draw a boundary. If you're the one being insulted, or you are the one being shouted at, or you're the one that is, but sometimes you will know that the way this person was brought up, or the foundational principles of their home, they back at people, they shout at people. You have been dealing with that for the past 10 years. Don't expect a miracle to happen all of a sudden. So don't have high expectations of all of a sudden, I know that the next time we have a conflict, he's going to behave better. Know that he's going to do the same. But the issue is, if you've been with this person for 10 years, that means you love them and they love you. That means that you have had several conflicts that you've been able to actually solve. The only issue is, if you are not able to solve those conflicts, I will say seek for professional help.
Yeah.
If you seek for professional help, definitely, if you come into our office, yes, you might try to raise your voice, but we will give you boundaries. Because we want to listen to both of you. We want to come to an amicable end in this session, and we want to be able to solve an issue. Because some people will say, oh, family, but sometimes they've taken people to families and they have even behaved worse, because sometimes they don't even respect the people in the family. It has to be someone that they can be able to respect and to listen to when they tell them it's not your turn to speak.
I appreciate that. Then the other is when you know you are guilty, because in most cases, before you engage in such a conversation or in such a discussion, you do a self-audit.
Yes.
So the expectations from that kind of meeting.
It's good grilling time.
So once you know that you're to blame, don't expect a superhuman in that kind of discussion. It's possible that it will become emotional
and heated.
So I am the man, I know what I did, and I've been given an opportunity to have this discussion. Once I've done a self-audit and I know exactly what I did, number one, I should be the humble one in that meeting.
In the conversation, yeah.
So when she expresses herself and she's emotional, I should be able to listen.
Because she's coming from somewhere.
Same with you, the woman. Because how many people will give you such an opportunity? There are not so many. Some will react with action. In most cases, she might just pack her bags and go.
No open dialogue.
Exactly. She may not get, but by the time she's giving you an opportunity,
she has respected you.
Yes, she's respected you.
Respect
so
her.
Expect those emotions, and those emotions help in such discussions. By the way, there's something else that I found out, Hilda. You have an opportunity when someone vents. Most especially when you know in the wrong. That means
they still care.
They still care, but most importantly, there is nothing left. I'm pouring it out so that I get my healing. So when she pours it out to try and get her healing, don't use it against her.
Turntables.
Take it in. What she wants is to be heard. What she wants is to be listened to. She feels like chiwakoze is unspeakable. Okay? Now, for example, I'm just giving if it's you, the woman that has been offended, don't hit below the belt.
Yeah. So, no. That's unfair.
There are statements that we use in such conversations that will haunt us.
And will never
forever.
take back, yeah.
So if you're a woman and you know, Tata Wabanawa, the father of your children, has erred in a certain area, and you want to hold them accountable, okay? Kubaneto kubanyo. Have some sense of, we still have a life. Because by the time you're open to such dialogue, you're looking for resolution.
Yeah.
You're looking for a way to reconcile.
Yeah.
You'd want to put this behind you. So, don't put this behind you with some pieces following you. You know when you're trying to put something in the closet and you're locking it and it's opening, it can't fit in there. It's because waisewo. So you're trying to lock it in, but it's peeping and it's pushing the door and it's coming out.
I know.
Well, because this man is saying all along.
I know. This is what you thought about.
Even used my mother's name.
I know.
I mean, my mother. You get the point. So don't hit below the belt. At least, mu busungu obungi. That courage. And you're right. As we have said, you're trying to express yourself. You have all these emotions. And the man has decided to listen. At least bear in mind, he is still my husband too. He's still the father of my children 3. I'm still in this.
Yeah.
So,
can we find a way? And then stay in the ring.
You can cry, you can express yourself whichever way that you want, and etc. and etc. But have a bit of respect for the man called your husband. The other way around. It's you, the woman, that did it. And your husband has given you an opportunity for dialogue. In most cases, men might not use so many words. And by that I mean, some of us men bwekituyitirira ennyo tusirika. For example, okutte mukazi wo mukwatidde mu bwenzi.
Do men forgive?
They do, but they respond differently. In most cases, well, they usually use the word we are logical, but in most cases, at that point, what we are dealing with is more of us than just the act that you were called. So we're asking ourselves so many questions that don't have answers. One of them, what have I done to deserve this? Am I not man enough? What did she see in that man? Am I not? So you have all these questions going on at the same time, and you don't know how to bring it out. So sometimes you find yourself quiet. You understand?
Yeah.
Well, the women are different. They can easily let it out.
They vent.
They express themselves, and they'll throw all the emotions. But to us men, because at that point you're thinking about you as a man. Yeah. What have I done wrong in my marriage to deserve this? I don't satisfy her in bed. Why would she?
Don't I provide enough? Don't I?
What is it that I'm doing? In most cases, when you're having these discussions with fellow men, there's the questions they will be asking. Tell me.
What's lacking?
I have done everything for my family. I've done everything for my wife.
What is
Why
it?
would she decide to cheat on me with so-and-so? Why would she cheat on me with my friend, moreover? With my boss, moreover? Blah, 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 blah. So, in a situation where your man
Now it's the woman in the problem.
And we're trying
and
to
you
find...
have done the self-audit.
And now we are seated to discuss this. Sometimes a man may ask very simple questions. Hilda, why? And Hilda, why? Why? What they're not saying is 1,001 words.
Yeah. They are pointing all their fingers back to themselves.
Why? Why? All that they want to know is, I'm not man enough. Why would you do this to us? Now, your response as a woman. Don't dig the past about your husband and
to use it against...
bring it to use it against him, because
or to turn
we've
tables.
been in places where now it's that point where a woman is saying, in 2002 you cheated on me with friends.
I know. I've seen those scenarios, and the woman, by the
and I forgave you.
In that moment, she thinks she's...
I forgave you. Katikano kwenakoze ke kakulu ennyo.
That's true.
You think I forgot what happened between you and Amina?
So you waited and revenged.
So you're sending a completely different signal. Because what you are dealing with now has totally have nothing. It has nothing to do with what just happened. Try to be in the moment right now. Don't dig the past at this point to try and use it against your man, because what you're doing is whatever that he's been dealing with and holding back at that point, he may lose it.
And that can cause him to decide otherwise in the heat of the moment.
So what you're telling your husband is, you were revenging.
Don't push it.
No, you were revenging. What you're telling your man is, I never forgave you. What you're telling your man is everything else other than the right response. He just asked a question, Hilda.
Why?
At least begin by apologizing. Own it up. Apologize. And the rest will follow.
Dealing
so
with
in conflict resolution, listening is a very powerful tool.
So what you're saying in a nutshell, focus on that issue in that moment.
Because when you listen, you will have the sobriety and the sanity. You'll be able to read the body language, the tone.
In between the lines.
And provide the right answer.
Yeah.
When you don't have an answer, you would rather keep quiet, apologize, keep quiet.
Nothing will be used against you at least.
The moment you own it up and apologize,
you're disarming them. Yeah. And I think there is what does it say? I think I will get it. It was coming to my mind, but now it has gone. But it has something to do with I think either it's wisdom or something, a kakanya, like when you handle things with wisdom, okakanyo mutima, and it doesn't flare up. But the moment you handle things with just fire, which I think sometimes is disrespect. And that's why I say, and people usually say, and it's a statement that is being thrown around so many times, though not everyone understands what it means, marry your friend.
Yeah.
Because when you marry your friend, when you look into their eyes and they're going through pain, you will feel that pain.
Yep.
You will not want to spit on their pain. You will not want to mock their pain. Love, just like you usually say, that is lying. It can flare. It can go. Friendship. It's something that stays, that concretizes commitment more than anything. Yeah. And that is a solid rock on which you can trade and build a marriage.
Kakati, there is also another one in the aspect of still listening. In a situation where you're having conflict, there is a disagreement, there is something to handle.
Yeah.
Guilty or not guilty, you should always think about this. And I remember a particular couple that had quite a huge age difference. And the girl kept using these words. I am his wife, but he treats me like a kid.
A child, yeah.
Indeed, the age difference was
too big.
Was big. About 20 years, call it. And talking to the guy said, there is no constructive conversation that I can ever have with my wife. Even when there is conflict, I feel like let me just listen for the sake. If you chose to marry that woman, whatever, I don't care.
Your wife is your wife. Whether she is 40 years younger than you,
yes,
respect her, accord her.
And I told him, what you're doing right now will end badly. And eventually,
like in your old age, you're giving yourself
they separated. But the thing here is, whatever that I was telling him was, the day you made up your mind to marry this young girl, you took her with all the crap.
Yeah.
So while you're thinking about building an empire and she's thinking about shopping, understand it.
Yeah.
That's your package.
Yeah.
It is yours. You're in charge. Handle. Carry your burden.
Enjoy your thing.
Enjoy it. You understand? That's what you wanted. And you have it. It's all yours. It does not come,
the good and the bad, the ugly and the bad.
It doesn't come in
you don't
parts
pick.
And pieces. Because then, every time they would have a conflict, the language from the man would be, even what she's saying is nonsense. But the thing is, she's expressing herself on what she feels is
unfair.
Right. And what she wants
to be heard.
While with you, or today, or in Abiosoma, I'm listening. And then he would use statements like, I think you should talk to your sister.
As in Olikecham, so you need help. But me, I don't have a problem. I don't need help.
Talk to your sister. So
those ones will send you to your singer.
This is crucial because I don't know. Older men love younger girls. They say whatever. But most of them who've been divorced in their 50s are not marrying girls who are in 40s, women who are in 40s,
and yet
or late 30s. They're going for 26, 27, 28.
I wonder why.
Whatever. But the thing is, that package comes when it's full. It comes with the full trouble. Double trouble. Enjoy it. But most importantly,
run around looking for her.
She will come that she will be still adventurous.
She will come back late.
Yes, she would want to hang out with her friends.
Still want to drink a few things.
Wants to go and watch a movie
that she doesn't understand.
She wants an ice cream night.
Yeah. A girl's trip.
Watch a band. She would want to go to Dubai.
House
While
party.
Everything you're thinking about is investment. Know. You think about everything that you think about is a bag of cement, another piece of land to buy.
Yeah.
She
wants house parties.
2 worlds apart.
Yeah.
So So when there is conflict, number one, learn to listen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she can bring down your empire.
By the way,
she can bring you down.
And some of those men have children.
And there are some mistakes we cannot afford to do in our 50s. You've been divorced once or twice. In your 50s, you don't want to be.
You want to chase another 20-year-old?
You don't want to. You can't afford to live in that kind of kavuyo. I call it kavuyo.
One of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is self-control.
Yeah.
And I believe it's one thing that causes people that causes people to collect themselves and say, what would God do? What would, a sober person do in this case? And so I feel like some of us just need, when we are flaring up, we need to be able to stay calm and manage our emotions and say, yes, this has gone through the roof. Yes, this has caused me a lot of anger. Yes, this has caused me, but can I listen? Because sometimes before you even listen, you don't know what the full scope of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But you had a little bit of it and you are already flaring. It's like a child who comes to tell you, so and so did this, and all of a sudden your voice is high and you're calling names and you're doing this. By the time the other party explains to you why they did what they did, then you're like, why did I shout so quickly? So I feel regrets, as human beings, we are in an age and an era where we are extremely stressed, where we are extremely depressed. But that is no excuse, because again, the depressed you and the stressed you needs relationships.
Absolutely.
You need your partner, you need your spouse.
Absolutely.
And you don't want in the heat of the moment to say things. Why do people hit below the belt? It's because they cannot collect themselves. So self-control is a gift of the Holy Spirit. When you pray, you can learn to control yourself. Even God himself, the conviction of the Holy Spirit, he'll be like, you know what, do not judge. Do not go at it very quickly. Give him time to sleep on it. Handle it tomorrow. As in, because you are trying, instead of clenching your teeth and, fisting, you're twisting your fists and feeling like you should punch someone. Why have people ended up fighting with others? Punching them, bruising them. You end up in a police cell. You've been with this person for 20 years. You're not a hen. You are a man, you are a woman that has a fully functioning brain. That means you are insulting God. If you cannot have the capability to control yourself, you are insulting him. You're telling him you created bogus things.
Absolutely.
But he created you in his image. You're immaculate. You are an excellent, a masterpiece. So can you practice your masterpiece-ness? Can you be able to speak to yourself? And these things do not just happen to partners. They happen to friendships. They happen to boss-employee relationships. They happen because you are the common denominator everywhere you go. But when it comes to the romantic setting, sometimes it even comes with fireworks. Because the heart becomes too much, like everything is doubled up. When your friend annoys you, you're thinking, I don't sleep with you. You're not in my house 24/7. I leave you outside. So that one is easy to deal with, because you can even just walk away just like that. But you cannot walk away from your spouse. So that means self-control. Pray about it. Practice it. Just like we say, delayed gratification.
Think about it. It's already happened.
It's not changing.
Okay. Unless it's a repetitive pattern
that you already know.
That where you've gotten, you don't feel like going back to it again. You're not giving this relationship another chance. Even then, you want to have proper closure. If the relationship has failed and you want to end it, you should do it well. Nice. But most importantly, okuddayo ku kye tubadde tuwogerako, and we've just handled only one point, by the way. Listening. I already know it has happened. There is nothing that I'm going to change. And because when you walk into a conversation to do with dispute resolution or
conflict resolution,
whatever that you want to call it, you should have done your homework. And after that, then you walk in with the mindset of, I want it to work. If you really want it to work, then what Hilda was saying is, be prayerful,
control yourself,
control yourself,
your emotions.
Don't allow to be overtaken, because then in that meeting, you look out a happier person. You did not marry an angel. You married a human being. And as human beings, we have our flaws.
It will shock you.
Okay? There are certain things that you will find out about your woman 20 years, 30 years in marriage, that you've never, ever
imagined.
At that point, do you throw out your 30 years? Probably not.
Self-control.
So control yourself, not to just lose it. So by the time I walk into a meeting, by the time I'm walking into that meeting, I want to give it a chance.
I've made up my mind.
So I would want to be in charge. I wouldn't want my emotions to take charge and mislead me. I would want to be present, listen to you, listen to you.
Because if you want to understand, then listen.
And then when I listen, then I can respond accordingly. Do you think you can go to point number 2? Or time is already... I feel like we
keep expounding and expounding.
When it comes to conflict resolution...
That happens every day.
Yes. You cannot talk about conflict resolution and you talk about listening in a
lightly.
Because it's huge.
Yeah.
In most cases, in most relationships, that's where we lose it. Because at that point, everyone is trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to win. We don't walk into that meeting to win. No. We walk into that meeting to resolve something.
Yeah, to build a team.
So when you walk in with the mindset of, I am right, and your partner walks into the same meeting with the mindset of, I am right, then no one is going to be right. You're going to take separate ways. So common denominator is, there's a problem, there's an issue.
Yeah.
Let's address the issue
as is, without adding other things and all the other things and all the other things, because the person that is listening, when you start mumbling up so many things, they are getting confused. Yeah. So also put in mind that when someone is paying attention, they are paying attention for example, there are times you will tell me, but Hilda, you started that conversation in the middle. Like, you started the conversation in the middle.
So that means the conversation was happening
in your head. It was happening in my head, and all of a sudden I am blabbering something, and you're thinking, I don't know where this is starting from. I don't know how I should jump in. I don't know. So please help me. And so many times when you tell me that, definitely I manage to back up and be able to bring you up to speed. Yeah. But sometimes I don't know that I was actually just having this conversation in my head. And all of a sudden now I'm getting into this conversation halfway into the conversation in my head. And that happens even when people are dealing with conflicts.
Yes.
They will think about something, think about it, and then when they get to speaking, they feel like they already spoke, or they omit certain things.
Yes, they process the conversation in the head,
and they think you're on the same page.
Yes, they give you pieces of the processed conversation.
Yeah,
very true.
And all of a sudden they are angry that you don't seem to understand what they're talking about.
You processed your conversation in your head. At the time of presentation, you picked out pieces,
and sometimes
the other person understands
exactly. And sometimes you process the conversation and also filled in the gaps of what you think he will understand.
Yeah.
Which is very wrong. Because here, allow yourself to be raw.
Yeah.
And that is where it should be a safe space. Guys, you have been kissing, exchanging saliva. You've been sleeping together. You have given birth to children. Like, literally, there is nothing between the two of you that you don't know about. Yeah. You get it?
Yeah, you're vulnerable.
So why can't you be vulnerable? Why can't you be raw and even accept the other person to be raw? Why is it that when you're making love, one person is not putting naked and the other person is putting on clothes?
Exactly. Yeah.
So even when you are dealing with conflict, can you both put away all your pride and allow the other person to be totally who they are? And that's why I think I love life more as I don't know how other people face it, but I think we are enjoying life more as we grow. Yeah. Because then, like, all the barricades are falling off, and you have me as I am, and I have you as you are, and there's nothing to hide.
Yeah, you just don't like my beard.
Yeah. I knew that was coming somewhere else. But you know what I don't like? You know what? You know, I love this one.
No, you don't want this one. It's coming.
I was going to say Danny Crane. Yeah. So even in conflict resolution, I think that it should be family. Your relationship should be the safest place. That's just like you usually say. You go out there, even to Nebi Kukuba, we are hustling, we are looking for money, we are trying to change the world, we are trying to, but in your home, it should be more of, all guards down. I don't expect that someone is going to sneak up on me, or someone is going to take advantage of me, or someone is going to scramble and partition this. I should expect that you want all fairness. Exactly. And that is what marriage should be.
And number two, that I think we will need to discuss sometime is called it's focus on the issue, not the person. Now, I have quite an interesting angle that maybe in our next session, if you're still handling the same, I would want
we can extend
I would really want us to try and understand what it means to focus on the person and not the issue. Hilda, you've been with me, I'm giving an example, say for 20 years. Track record will never lie.
Yep.
Because I can't be the team you know for the last 20 years and all of a sudden
twist.
And not just a twist, but an extreme twist.
Yeah.
So if Tim says Bampa, it's not true, at least you should be the first believer. But let me tell you, Hilda, there's nothing that hurts like I've had a straight record for the last 20 years, and all of a sudden there's an angle that has come out, and everyone out there is crucifying me about it, and the only person that I accept, I expect
to be in your corner
is also judging me
and casting
you
stones.
Understand? That hurts. And you know where it comes from? You don't really focus on team, but the issue. You've not given attention to your man. For example, I've used statements like, one day I said it to one of my friends, my partners, Namugamba, if you found my wife Hilda in a lift kissing a guy, please don't come and tell me. Keep it to yourself. Because if you do, I will slap you.
What did he say?
No, I said, if you do, I will slap you. And he said, I'll be giving you information. No.
Did I ask for that information? Why were you in the lift?
Why were you dropping? Why were you
peeping?
Why? Leave her to kiss in peace. And you know what that means? Is I have had the same woman for the last 20 years. She's built a reputation that and a record that cannot just be squashed. So I've made up my mind that I will want her
to prove otherwise
if it ever happened. But if she has done it, then she has a reason. And I would want to know why she has done it. So I'm not focusing on the kissing. I'm focusing on my wife that I've known for the last 20 years. That has respected me, has never cheated on me, has never been funny, has never. So I don't choose
to all of a sudden
flip.
Cast that.
You understand? And I throw away my 20 years because there was a kissing in the lift.
So that means it's a twist of focus. It's what you choose to focus on that matters. That either expands,
it's so powerful,
it exaggerates.
It's so powerful. I want you to understand that the core of it all is you become a powerful couple that can beat anything in this world.
Formidable, yeah.
Why? Because you've chosen to give each other an opportunity and the first right of, as in,
prove me wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. Prove me wrong. Let's get to that.
As in, you can't be in my life for the last 20 years. Okay? And I can't pick certain things. For example,
habits.
Money. That all of a sudden, the 2 million shillings I left on the table has become an issue between us. Think about it. You've been in charge of 200, 300 million, 400 million. I've left my bank card with you, having all this money, and you've not.
And all of a sudden, And so fast to crucify.
You get my point?
Yeah.
So I don't want to focus on the 2 million shillings that I'm not seeing in the
I
house.
know this person.
I know my wife if she wants
I
to.
know.
I know. Momanyi bulungi nnyo. No momanyi. So anyone else that is trying to make me fume about an issue, I will silence them and I will tell them I trust my woman. I trust my wife. I've been with her all this time. I don't expect her. I'll have to first listen to her.
Which is respect.
Which is very respectful.
And not just
now,
respect
I know that the people are
not just respect for her, but
saying,
even for you.
You don't know what we are going through. I know. But
everything is a choice.
It is a choice. So life, marriage, success, everything that you can think about is a choice.
Yeah.
I can't all of a sudden with a clean track. If I know that mukazi wange mwenzi, that's a different thing.
And you can't fail to know.
You will not. You will not omukazi wange.
You
will know. That's why some of you men have put trackers on your
wives' cars.
Yes.
On their phones.
Exactly. Because you don't trust them.
You even send
there is a track record about this. So the moment something happens, you will know that I expected it. But where
it's not even news.
It's not news. But where you know very well nti omukazi wange mumize gyalina gyonna guno tagulina. At least be the first believer bambi. Flip it to you the woman now. You know that your man has had a clean
track record.
For example, there was a situation that happened where this couple of about like 20 years, you know this thing where you're trying to help as a man, and you find someone struggling and you're trying to help them. But then, in the process of helping them, they start getting ideas. But you don't keep it from your wife. You're like, I was in such and such a place, I found about this, blah, 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 concerning so and so's daughter. And I tried to offer a hand, a helping hand, and provided some small money to help her with her tuition. And so, the girl receives the help, but at a certain point picks interest in the man. And all of a sudden, she builds a story that is false. Why? Because she attempted to try and be sexual with the guy, and the guy refused. So, because the man is wealthy, the girl plots with her mother.
With her mother?
Yes. To bring the man down. Of course, in the interest of kumubba sente. If you build this story and lie that
it will be believable.
He was trying to rape you or something like that, it will be believable. Blackmail, he'll give some money. You understand? Now, as I said, the man had a very clean track record. What hurt this man the most is the wife was the first to believe
what the false story.
The false story. And was even willing to testify against him. Now, you get that?
Wow.
So, the thing here is, where you know that even when you think probably it's true.
By the way, your first line of defense should be, get behind me, I want to protect you.
Yes.
We will talk about the rest.
We can fight after
now, that's friendship. That's friendship.
So, later on, of course, this guy, the thing became a real thing. And you know, when you're being targeted, it becomes very easy because usually, you're being targeted. There are scenarios
that they will create around you that will be believable.
And even some pictures and blah, blah, blah to prove the point. So, the guy eventually gets this stupid sentence. Okay. And he has to serve.
In prison.
Yeah. Of course, later on, amazima gamalagi gavaayo na it's not true, and appeals. And but the thing is, what I'm trying to paint here, Hilda, what I'm trying to paint here is why should you be the first person
to
believe
crucify.
a lie, side with my enemies, to bring me down? You, my wife of 20, 30 years, even if I did it.
You should have the decency to protect.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. Take it out there, because you know the testimony of your wife holds.
Yeah. It's believed by everyone.
You get the point? So, I would want us to have more time in conflict resolution. This is really key, because in most cases, we focus on the issue rather than the person. And
we
I
forget
think
about the core.
it's supposed to be the other way around. First, give attention to your spouse, to your husband, to your wife.
Don't fuel and exaggerate.
Okuzimba ekiguddewo n'okifuula olusozi. Because a time will come when you want to deal with that lusozi.
And you will have built it yourself.
Because gwe oluzimbye. Olusozi olwo kye lukola kye kino. Luleetawo ekiwonvu. Olusozi kye lukola. Ne lwawulamu abeeri n'abeeno. Because it becomes a barrier.
That's work that you've given to yourself.
Is work that
you might never enjoy doing.
It is either lusozi or a rift. Once you have dug that trench and there's a rift,
you have to work double, twice.
One is the other side.
And when they look at you, they're like, "Ay,
gwe." Because now at the point when the truth comes about this
the
issue,
shame, the embarrassment. How do you even start? We need to get out of here. Okay, we love you guys. And in conflict resolution, a time comes when you can't see eye to eye and you need extra help. Okay, extra help with people that can be able to create a safe space for you to express yourself, be safe, and be confidential as well. If that's what you need, we are holding this space for you. The number is on your screen. Reach out to us. It's a stressful world, but again, we can make it work. All right, we love you, and may the Lord bless you.